Hello, I have our cards for the week here. 3 stacks, as always, for you to choose from. We have a flower agate carved into a moon shape. We have a piece of raw purple mica. And we have this little chunk of honey calcite. As always, take your time choosing which stack might be for you, or stacks if more than one crystal is calling to you. And we'll go ahead and get started. Stack 1, the flower agate. This week you have the Tower and the Seven of Pentacles. Tower card is indicating a bit of a shakeup. Something in life is changing. Tower card brings some pretty swift and serious change. It's not necessarily bad. It's definitely a shakeup. This lightning bolt, kind of the bolt from the blue, causing things that may have been stagnant or difficult to shift to suddenly start moving. This is kind of like, I'm getting the image of being on a train that's been stuck for a while at the station, paused due to whatever reason, and you've just been sitting there for half an hour, kind of getting a little tired of the delay, but knowing you can't do anything about it. And then suddenly, without any announcement or warning, the train starts moving again, and there's that lurch forward where you're kind of jostled from that stillness, and it's unsettling, but it's also what you wanted. You want the train to move forward. You want to keep going. You want to get to your destination. That's the movement from Tower this week. That little bit of a uncomfortable jolt, but it's only uncomfortable for the first second or so where you're unsettled, and then you realize what's going on and you figure out things are moving right along. So there's a lot that Tower is bringing this week that is very positive. This forward movement is good. It's change in a good way, even if it's weird or things are falling apart in ways that, you've heard the phrase fall apart so they can fall together. It's cliche, but there is an aspect of truth to that this week. Certain aspects need to be removed, certain factors need to be shifted in order for this situation to be put back together. It's not a puzzle with only one right assembly. It's more of a collage where you have artistic freedom. Seven of Pentacles is helping you see what's going on with clarity. It's opening the space and availability to pause and really assess what's going on. So while a quick glance might seem like things are bad or falling apart, a closer look at the situation can have you seeing other aspects that are really good, beneficial things. Seven of Pentacles is very helpful for really unearthing and uncovering stuff that needs to be looked at for more than a quick glance. This is a pause and a check-in and it's almost a loving look, like a true assessment of the situation in a way that gives you the honest answers that you need. It's just facts, and it's discovering truths about your own feelings. It's a good place to be when you have Tower card shaking things up. Seven of Pentacles can help you really take stock of what went out, what's coming in, and what needs to be put together now. What do you want to do with the new situation that you have? So this is a week of movement and change, and a lot of power in your hands to go over it and make sure things are shaping up the way you want them to. The key piece here is not to rush. Neither of these cards are rushing forward cards. This is pause and wait, let things fall where they may, then really get a good look at everything before you move forward. This is a watching and waiting week. It's a formulating your plan and being ready to change it if more things come up, as the Tower card kind of runs through its whole iteration. So this is good. This is a place to really gather information, facts, and feelings, and everything else. Take a whole broad look at the big picture. Stack 2, the purple mica. This week you have the Eight of Cups and Two of Pentacles. And this is a situation where in order to get through something potentially uncomfortable, confusing, difficult, or generally not your favorite, the way through is one step at a time. There is a reason that is such a popular way to take it. One step at a time, one piece at a time, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time if you need to. It works for a reason. Eight of Cups it's the setting out on a journey at a midpoint or farther. You've come a long way, you've sunk a lot of energy or effort or emotion into something, and walking away from it will feel weird, to say the least, even if it's the right thing. You may be leaving a job or a home or a place or a partner. There's an exit of sorts by you. And if there's no big outward appearance of exiting and change, there is something internal. You're walking away from a long-held belief or mindset or worldview. Something has been really shifted around to the point where you're now seeing that staying is not really an option. Like, you can't unsee things that you've seen. You can't unlearn them necessarily. There's a change here where you're setting off in a new direction, a new direction that you never would have expected or did not anticipate. And this is not a bad thing at all. It's just potentially a little bit lonely. It's a journey that only you are going on, especially if this is within your mind or emotions. There's an isolation that comes when you're working through something like that. And it's also not a bad thing. There's the space for you to be moving through this. And Two of Pentacles comes in with the advice of how to do that. And it's basically acknowledging the ups and downs, this kind of roller coaster of water here, and this balancing act, this juggling of little pieces. And the way to do that is to just focus on each little piece as it comes up. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're doing that, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, repeat. So focusing on the small pieces, the individual tasks, the what's next, specifically what's next, and then what's next, and then what's after that. These little things that keep you moving forward, they're not so little, but they're just broken down into small pieces. And that is a way to move through this Eight of Cups experience. It's potentially a long journey, but when you look at it piece by piece, it's just 1 minute at a time, one day at a time, and you will absolutely get where you're going. When you follow your sort of intuitive steps on what's the next right thing, what makes sense for me to do here, what needs my attention the most right now. Two of Pentacles is very goes up, comes down, goes out, comes back in. The tides going out, coming in, your life kind of going up, coming down. Things are moving constantly in very small ways, and it adds up to very effective change. So the change that's being brought in Eight of Cups is managed very well by the breaking down into small pieces of the Two of Pentacles. So if you feel lost or lonely or ill at ease this week, focus on something small, concrete, and very doable. Whatever is very doable at that moment. Clear off a shelf, empty out a drawer, fire off an email that's been waiting to be sent, run an errand. Something very concrete and tangible that can just bring you back to now, and you're just one little step at a time. The little things. If you don't know where to focus this week, focus on the little things, and that will get you a long way towards where you want to end up being. Stack 3, Honey Calcite. This week you have the Ten of Swords and the Page of Cups. And Ten of Swords is indicating an ending of sorts, almost like an ending of a worldview or a feeling, You may have lost some stability or comfort. This is something that has either already happened or is just sort of shifting at the beginning of the week. Like you've seen something that you can't unsee or heard something you can't unhear. You can't go back. What's taken place is clear and done. And now you're kind of taking that experience and those feelings in and figuring out what to do with it. This is a processing time. And the move from a 10 to the page is the natural progression of the cards. You know, there's a clear endpoint here, and then you're moving into what's next. It's a leveling up of sorts, which isn't to kind of make it seem better than it is or try to make it something important. It's just, it is. When something big changes, you're almost forced to level up. So what I'm noticing here is this like through line of blue through these two cards. Whatever happened, and it brings something forward into the future with you. You're taking this new knowledge or understanding or feeling and getting to know it and sit with it and be with it. It's kind of shaping up into whatever is next. And Page of Cups it's a processing of emotions, and it's a kind of collecting of not necessarily the facts, but the way you feel about them, the way you have experienced them. It's a putting together of things in a new way that allows you to move forward in your best way after a Ten of Swords experience. So with Page of Cups, you want to remain open to feelings that come up and kind of hang out in this gray space. You know, you don't necessarily want to go to the darkest darks or try to hang out only in the happiest places, you know, somewhere in the middle where anything can kind of come and go and the water just keeps rolling along. It's a type of middle place. It's a comfortable zone. Comfortable is not necessarily the right word. It's a zone where you can experience comfort and discomfort after this Ten of Swords situation and safely get through it. Page of Cups is a safe little space that you can inhabit this week, and it's kind of a good through movement to get you to the eventual other side and whatever your next cycle is. So whatever big changes or small changes are happening this week, look to the Page of Cups, kind of openness and freshness to find your way through it. Thank you for watching. Absolutely wish you the best of luck in your endeavors this week, and let me know what crystal you picked and if it resonated.